2, 7, 3, 5.
All right, today we're here at the range where we just finished up a 2-day LPVO. And I've got Josh Nilson here with me. He just shot in the class, and he is the owner of Dark Horse Tactical. So Josh, tell our viewers what you do.
Yeah, so again, my name is Josh Nilson. After doing 15 years in law enforcement in the Las Vegas area, started manufacturing. Kind of interesting story of how we got involved in manufacturing. I was a sniper on our sniper team for our SWAT team at the time, and we were issued some subpar equipment that truly, when lives are on the line, we needed it to perform, and it wasn't doing that. Obviously, luckily no lives were lost, but it really got me thinking, if I was going to build a precision rifle, how would I build it? What would I use to put it together and whatnot? And that's what really got us started in the manufacturing industry for precision ARs. And we started making precision 308s and kind of just evolved from there. This particular rifle we have in front of us today, I brought it down specifically for this class. This is my personal build, so it's got a couple extra accoutrement, if you will, that we obviously don't include with the rifle in general. But what we wanted to do with this particular rifle was to give people, both civilian and law enforcement, the ability to have kind of a general purpose rifle or an all-around, if you could only have that one rifle, what would you do, kind of a concept. So just kind of going from front to back on it, it's built on our Dark Horse Tactical, our DHT-15 chassis. This particular one is not our ambidextrous model, but we can get into that in a little bit. But just kind of going front to back, we're running a KGM R556 suppressor off to the front with a 360-degree brake system. It's covered by Liberty's Defense Suppressor Cover. They're a fantastic company out of Florida. They make great stuff. You'll never shoot this off the front of your rifle. It helps maintain all that heat inside so you won't inadvertently burn yourself. You know, in law enforcement for transitions or laying your rifle down or whatever, it helps with that. We've got a set of Atlas bipods on the bottom to help with that precision work. On top, we're running a Surefire Scout and the Steiner laser illuminator combination. We've got the Mod Light button systems to run that. They're all in line for that. And then again, working our way back to this Liberty's Defense rail cover really helps with that heat. This particular model, like I said, this is kind of like my personal deal. So it is a select fire. So when you're running it on that select fire mode, the barrel can heat up very quickly. The whole system can heat up very quickly. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your hands at that point. Sling retention system. And then we get back to the main workings of the gun. This particular one is a 12.5-inch barrel, and the reason why we did that is, again, we wanted that general purpose feel to it of you could still do up close personal work, CQB, maneuverability, have it as a truck gun if you really wanted to have it like that, but long enough to be able to adequately hit targets at distance, and we were able to see that yesterday during the precision fire on the long range. So it's running a 12.5-inch barrel. We have an adjustable gas system inside of it, and for our precision rifles we do an H-bar contour, so it's a little bit heavier, but it's going to help reduce on that barrel whip and give you a little bit more rigidity for that precision. It's chambered in a 223 Wild, and the reason why we went with that is over our years of testing and evaluation, you know, there's great things to say about rifles that are chambered just in 223 and just 5.56, and there are different applications, but we wanted the best of both worlds, and the 223 Wild really helps with that. It gives us that accuracy of the 223 Remington cartridge, but also handling the chamber pressures of the 5.56 and just the overall reliability and workings of the system that way. And then working back, we just have a general bolt carrier group that's made by our friends out at Rubber City Armory back in Ohio. They make great bolt carrier groups. Theme music. And then going into, we try to make this particular model as ambidextrous as possible, so as we can turn this around, you can see it's got Ambidextrous magazine releases, bolt release. Our enhanced models that we do actually have a ambidextrous bolt release on both sides.
Okay.
So that's an option that'll be available here shortly. Ambidextrous selector switches, and then ambidextrous charging handle. I really feel that's super important and really came in handy yesterday when we were doing manipulation drills and offhanded drills and transitioning from strong side to support side, to be able to have the ability that if something should go wrong or we need to work this action, be able to grab that from both sides and really get after it on that way. Below, this is the Geisley SSA Select Fire trigger. Like I said, this is a select fire weapon. However, the main models will come with just a two-stage precision trigger. Continue to work back. We have the law folder. We really wanted to have the ability that, because it is a 12.5 inch, and depending if you're running it suppressed or unsuppressed, this system can get very long, and depending on how you're carrying it in your vehicle, whether it's law enforcement or on the civilian side, if you carry your rifle in your car like a truck gun, having the ability to get this overall signature reduced so it can really be, I mean, this could be backpackable.
Yeah.
In truth. So
Very short package, even with the can.
right. So the law folder, we're running the Magpul, the STR stock. I'm a big fan of those for precision work. If you're running a gas gun and you still need that adjustable capability, but being able to have an adequate cheek weld on either side. This is a new feature that we put on the rifle. This is made by Blue Alpha Gear. This is called their stock sock. And it's basically a attachment that goes on the back that gives you a little bit of neoprene on the top for a cheek weld, but has all these little holes punched into it so you can have shock cord or 550 cord woven into it so you can put different types of attachments. On my particular one, I throw an extra cat tourniquet in because I don't think you can ever have enough tourniquets. But yeah, inside the buffer system, it's a Voltor A5 system. We're a big fan of that. It really helps with recoil reduction and really smooths out the rifle, so it's not going to beat you up after a long day. To top everything off, we've got a Geisley mount here. We've been fans of Geisley for a really long time. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, Geisley became very difficult to source. So we've also developed a really good working relationship with Reptilia Corp that makes a very interesting, same basis off the Geisley, but allows you to have attachment rings on the top, such as this one, where you can attach a 45 offset. They have a 90 degree. They now make a diving board front for some of the more modern aiming devices and laser devices. So, but for this particular one, we've got a Geisley 34 millimeter. With this, we decided to go with the Vortex Razor HD 1 to 10. During my career, we were big fans of Night Force. We ran pretty much Night Force on everything, and a lot of my personal rifles have Night Forces on them. But for this particular one, the Night Force is great, but it's only their LVPO is only a 1 to 8. The highest they can go is 1 to 8, and we wanted to see if that extra 2 power would really make a difference at distance. So we went ahead with the Vortex on this one for the 1 to 10 option.
I think yesterday you were the only one running a 1 to 10. Everyone else were 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. And at 500, it seemed like you had a lot easier time.
It was a lot easier to identify which targets we were shooting at and to be able to get a good sight picture on it to be able to break that shot. So I would agree with that assessment. But yeah, so the Vortex, and then obviously we've got a bubble level and a quick throw lever to be able to make those rapid additions. That was one thing we enjoyed about the class, was really taking the LPO to its max limits and what it can be used not only as a makeshift red dot type optic, but to be able to crank up that power and be able to hit targets at distance. The drills we were doing yesterday, going from short to far and far to short, really helped play into that as well. On the 45 offset, we have a Holosun 508T. There's a lot of different opinions about Holosun and what they make, but you can't deny that they make good stuff.
Yes, they do.
So we're running that on top.
So as far as your weapons go, you've got what I would call a base entry level, 5.56 up to like a special purpose rifle, 5.56, and then you have a 308 line as well, right?
Right.
Could you give everybody a little info on all of that?
Yeah, so within last year after retiring from law enforcement, we actually opened up a storefront style type store, and we were seeing that before when we were building custom rifles, we had a very niche clientele, if you will. And when we took this to the storefront, the general market, the general public, the price points were just not to everybody's liking, despite the fact that, hey, you're getting a custom rifle and you kind of get what you pay for. So we came out with the idea of what is the base model type rifle that we could develop that we would still trust personally with our lives or lives of loved ones at a reasonable price point. So our very base model is called our Bravo model. It's based on a forged receiver set, and it only comes in a 16-inch barrel configuration, really a no frills kind of deal, very almost like a mil spec fill of what you'd get with a basic entry rifle, but it also gives the ability to say, hey, this is still a quality rifle that is still accurate, and if the end user wants to start changing or swapping parts, it's not ambidextrous, it's all one-sided operation. So it opens up the door to say, hey, I can customize this rifle if I so choose, or if I just want a basic rifle to just kind of roll around with, we have that option. And then they go up from there up to our enhanced model, which this is a version of it. The versions will, our finalized version will actually have, like I said earlier, that ambidextrous bolt release.
Okay.
But now you're jumping up into a billet receiver set. The receiver sets we make in-house, those are ours. We don't source those from anybody else. They're made to our tolerances. And then the handguards, we have our own type of handguards that we use on some of our lower models. And then just depending on the customizable options that people can choose, we can go with other manufacturers as well. But yeah, we go all the way up. Our enhanced model is really almost I don't know if it's a registered trademark or not, but it's like our Build-A-Bear for adults type rifle, where you can say, hey, based off your base receiver set, I want to build out my rifle in any length, any configuration, any caliber. We've done everything from 223 Wild, 6mm arc. We've got a few of those out in circulation. 300 Blackout was very popular. Obviously, with what's going on in the ATF right now, that's kind of in a little bit of a jumble right now, yep. But we'll get worked through that. But then going up into our precision line, we jump up into our AR-10 receiver set, and there we offer right now 308 and 16-inch. We have a 12.5 inch we just came out with last year, and that was actually based off a solicitation from a SWAT team in Florida. They needed something for very close, tight, from across the street, if you will, type situation. So we built that out for them, and been very impressed that it'll handle everything short, but we've actually been able to stretch that thing to 600-800 yards reliably and still make accurate hits. So we were very pleased with that. We can do it in a 6.5 Creedmoor. We don't see a whole lot of requests. We actually get a lot of requests from hunters. Ironically, we built quite a few for a pig hunting expedition that took place in Texas
really?
a year and a half ago. Yeah, and they, according to them, obviously I wasn't there, but they killed quite a few hogs at distance of anywhere from 200 to 300 yards, and they were very pleased with their
That's
product.
good news.
Yeah, and then this year we'll be releasing a 243 and a 260 line. Okay. So more for the hunting style, like if you're set up in a tree stand or a blind type option.
So if people want to know more information about you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so our website is www.darkhorsetactical702.com. That's our website. We're on all the social media platforms. Instagram's Dark Horse Tactical LLC. Facebook is Dark Horse Tactical. We're on Twitter a little bit, thanks to Elon Musk. But yeah, that's all our major social media outlets and our website.
Well, Josh, I appreciate you taking time to share this with everybody. And hey, if y'all enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.